There's far too much to say about Dave Rorick, so I won't even try to cover as much as I'd love to talk about. But what I will say is Dave has such an infectious spirit. There are many, many contributors to this movement for civil rights and social justice. Dave is one, though, who is a consummate advocate at all times, always selfless.
But Dave actually got me hooked up with my first assignment. It was for a asylum case for an individual from southern Mexico who had been the victim of both religious persecution and persecution based on his sexual orientation. And Dave provided us with so much resources and so much help on that case. Actually got me and several other people interested in working with the Lawyers Committee at that time. And ever since then, he's just been an endless resource. He comes to a case and puts so much dedication, so much hard work, and so much care into everything he does.
Dave Rorick has an amazing, uncanny ability to connect to people. And it's that ability to connect that has served him so well, that has served us so well, that has made such a difference in the lives of our clients and everybody who he's touched.
Young lawyers were needed to represent people who were seeking political asylum, mostly fleeing from death squads and threats against their family. And you knew, as far as I could tell, everything about everything that was going on in those countries, here to represent people from those countries. And you began to make connections between the clients that you saw and the lawyers who were very, very anxious, young lawyers, to represent those clients. And that was a special kind of a connection because people saw you as not only a source of information and the recruiter, but as a sympathetic ear for the lawyers and the clients to talk to, somebody who could always find the right answer to a question about country conditions in Guatemala or El Salvador, somebody who knew all the services agencies in the Bay Area. You'd put people in touch with Sister Maureen, for example, when they needed help with housing in the East Bay or with a place to live. And then with a host of other organizations and people. But really, it was your kind of persistence and your nurturing of the relationships with these lawyers that really kept people coming back to represent more and more clients.
Dave, you've been an inspiration to all of us at the Lawyers Committee for many, many years. When I think of you, I think of the font of wisdom for immigration law, for asylum law, and I think of the gentle and persuasive passion you bring to issues of civil rights. You've been a warrior, and it's been a pleasure to work with you.
Dave is one of the hardest working persons I've ever met. Let me just give you one example of the influence that he has had on the Lawyers Committee. Almost 15 years ago, he came to me and suggested that PG&E should be more actively involved with the Lawyers Committee. And he suggested that PG&E ought to host the asylum training program. I said, well, Dave, that's a great idea. And I said, what I need is for you to come with me to PG&E to convince them that they should host. Dave did. Dave was persuasive, and 15 years later, that program is still being sponsored by Pacific Gas and Electric Company. That is a tribute to a man who has a mission and who stays with that mission until it is accomplished. Congratulations, Dave. You are my hero.